Part 74. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 759. The 2021 New Year in the elf calendar is earlier than in previous years, and the day when Yang Yu will go to Yanjing Elf University in Kyoto to teach elf battle is gradually approaching. This winter vacation, Yang Yu had a relatively easy time, but he suffered a huge stimulation in the middle, which almost scared him out of his wits. Fortunately, the final result was good. The little dream monster was able to cope with the loud noises, and the mini dragon finally ate it. Learned 100,000 volts. Triple attack, a collection of weakened versions of the moves of 100,000 volts, jet flame, and freezing light, which are equivalent to electric shock, sparks, and fine snow. However, the key point of the triple attack is that it has a probability of causing paralysis, burning, and one of 3 frozen states. If the mini dragon can combine the power of 100,000 volts, jet flames, and freezing light beams like a triple attack, it will be far more terrifying than the ordinary triple attack. However, with the current form of the mini dragon, I think it is definitely not enough to master these 3 moves at the same time. Then there is only one way to go, and that is evolution. Yang Yu looked in the direction of the mini dragon. Mum. The mini dragon was eating food in its huge rice bowl. It looked at Yang Yu looking in its direction, tilting its head and chewing as if asking, "What's up?" After a while, the mini dragon's eyes suddenly lit up, and its tail swayed excitedly. Could it be that Yang Yu was going to give it a snack? The mini dragon typically ate from the bowl and looked into the pot. He speeded up his meal. After triumphantly licking the rice bowl clean, he brought the rice bowl to Yang Yu's side with his head. Mum. The mini dragon's tail pointed into the rice bowl. It's time to add some extra food. It's time to add some extra food. Yang Yu has really carefully considered the issue of extra meals for the mini dragon. If the mini dragon evolves into a hack dragon, its cute white nose will gradually turn into a light blue nose, just like the little dream monster evolves into a dream monster, growing from a naughty little Q to a mature and steady one. Elf companions. Experiencing the changes of growth is itself a natural condition for humans and elves. People will gradually grow up, and elves will also gradually grow up. Of course, evolution is a very good thing. Yang Yu can believe in the foundation that mini dragon now has. To put it in an exaggerated way, even if the father of mini dragon comes, he will still be defeated. Yang Yu still has this confidence, because if this mini dragon hadn't met Yang Yu, maybe the mini dragon might still be playing in the mud in the East China Sea Dragon Palace. Gradually, the mini dragon felt a little bit wrong. Yang Yu was thinking about it, and kept pouring snacks mixed with energy cubes into the rice bowl. When it was full, the mini dragon's rice bowl overflowed and fell to the ground. Degree. Although the mini dragon feels that it is indeed good at eating, but it has eaten many meals, extra meals. There have never been so many extra meals. Could it be last meal? The mini dragon was a little confused and dazed. Could it be, was this really the last meal? When did you pack so much? Yang Yu was thinking about how big the appetite of the mini dragon would be if it evolved into a hack dragon. Subconsciously, his hands shook a little when he saw the mini dragon twisting and retreating in front of him. His appearance, as well as his aggrieved, frightened, and suspicious little eyes, almost made him laugh like a pig for a while. Me. The mini dragon shook its head in panic, indicating that it would not eat such a meal. Do you really think that the mini dragon has never seen the world? In the evenings, Reggie Locke would sometimes catch up on TV shows late into the night. He looked at mini dragon in a daze, and what impressed him the most was the decapitated meal. Okay, I'll put it back for you. You can't eat so much now. Yang Yu didn't think about anything else, but to be fair, the mini dragon should be happy to put so much food into the mini dragon. Doesn't dragon like to eat the most? Yang Yu asked Dada to help put most of it back. As for the food that fell on the ground, the food that may have fallen on the ground may be more fragrant to the mini-dragon. In short, it will not be wasted. At this moment, the mini-dragon felt that the extra food in the rice bowl was a bit normal. The clever mini-dragon felt like he had saved a small life. He was afraid that Yang Yu would add more food, so he quickly used his tail to wrap around the rice bowl. Wrap it in a circle, drag it away like a cart, and find a place to eat slowly. Little Dream Demon, the mini-dragon is starting to become more powerful, you have to work harder. Yang Yu called the Little Dream Demon down and held it in his hand. The advantage of the mini-dragon itself is the fast dragon form in the late stage, but Yang Yu's mini-dragon already has a huge advantage in the early stage. In the initial form of the elf, it is definitely the top level and a terrifying foundation, which is enough to lay a solid foundation. Many dragons will have a higher upper limit of strength in the future. The Little Dream Demon sat down in Yang Yu's hand. Being able to easily master the powerful loud noise move made the Little Dream Demon very happy, but in the previous PK with the mini-dragon actually won. This also made the Little Dream Demon train harder these days. You can borrow the power of the magic fairy stick, but it is not your own power. However, the Little Dream Demon can transform the top quality dark stone on the magic fairy stick into your own power through training. In the last battle with the mini-dragon, the Little Dream Demon found that the ability to continue fighting was weaker than the mini-dragon. This reminded the Little Dream Demon of the ghost tide that can continuously maintain the Dream Demon form in the forest sea. If the ghost tide can maintain the form of the dream monster, can there be a weaker ghost wave, just like the big beautiful water ring, which always provides a steady stream of ghost power around you? This is not the effect of the magic fairy stick, but the ability of the Little Dream Demon's own moves. If the venue is in the dark, deep in the forest, the Little Dream Demon can definitely exert a power beyond its own strength. With the bonus factor of the venue, the suitable battle venue will make the Little Dream Demon's performance even better. Try adding your illusion ability to the elf battle. You can also do it in the dream world as a little dream monster. So, you and the mini-dragon have their own areas of expertise in fighting. It's daytime in the arena. Here we are. At night, Little Dream Demon, you are so powerful. Yang Yu has been encouraging the Little Dream Demon. Of course, Yang Yu saw the growth along the way. The change in the Little Dream Demon was actually the biggest change among all the elves in Yang Yu. From being playful, arrogant at the beginning, to being able to let go of his prejudices and bring Tijapai elf eggs, and then gradually becoming more mature, awakening in the sea of forests to rekindle the extinguished light of Mimikyu's soul. In the animation in my memory, didn't Zai's Pikachu also start out being disobedient, and then gradually become a firm and reliable partner, Pai Shen? Yang Yu has always liked the Little Dream Demon and has never been bored with it, because Yang Yu knows that since Yang Yu chose to bring the Little Dream Demon back from the Pearl Forest, Yang Yu has the responsibility as a trainer to make the Little Dream Demon better. Now, the Little Dream Demon has gradually begun to grow and is always changing for the better. What reason does Yang Yu have to criticize the Little Dream Demon? This made Yang Yu feel the reality of being in this elven world. Okay, just keep working hard. If you lose half the game, just win it back in an upright manner next time. Besides, you see the mini-dragon's silly look every day. That's the method of the mini-dragon. Just eat, and that's it. This can be considered a talent of it. Yang Yu gently patted the little dream monster's head. The scene of the Little Dream Demon making loud noises in the air has always been in Yang Yu's mind. Although the Little Dream Demon is still very young, it has the rudimentary feeling of a magical witch. Yang Yu looks forward to the continued growth of the Little Dream Demon. Poppy. Tijapai invited the Little Dream Demon's sister to eat the new cream cake made by the magic wall doll. Tijapai's mouth was full of cake crumbs and cream. It tasted sweet, and Tijapai really liked it. Go, relax, and have some cream cake. Yang Yu said with a smile. The balance of the vacation will soon be insufficient. Before leaving for Kyoto, Yang Yu plans to go to Yang Yu's big brother, the dragon messenger Xiazhepeng, about the evolution of the mini-dragon and learning the dragon-type ultimate move Meteor Swarm. King Xia's Kuai-Long and Yang Yu's mini-dragon are both from the East China Sea Dragon Palace, so there will be no obstacles in learning the moves. More importantly, King Xia is also happy to teach Yang Yu's mini-dragon. This is a heritage. Not all dragon-type elves can successfully master the dragon-type ultimate move Meteor Swarm. At least the elf cultivation background must be strong enough. If it is an ordinary dragon-type elf, it will have to wait until at least the gym level before it can exert part of the power of the Meteor Swarm. As for those with lower levels of strength, the effect of using Dragon Breath or Dragon Wave will be better. Yang Yu naturally doesn't have to worry about this. A mini-dragon that can master the three major moves of Jet Flame, Freezing Beam, and 100,000 volts even in the mini-dragon period, is it still afraid that it has insufficient background? Yang Yu is now afraid that the mini-dragon's background is too good, and it will be bad if he accidentally scares King Xia. Especially in the family of dragon messenger King Xia Tian, Yang Yu remembered that King Xia's daughter also had a mini-dragon. Yang Yu had already seen it during the military training period of his freshman year. If King Xia brought Yang Yu's mini-dragon and Yang Yu my niece Xia Yu's mini-dragons compare. Is that okay? Yang Yu didn't want to either. But after returning from the secret realm of Sky City, King Xia personally invited Yang Yu to come and sit at home if he was free. Then Yang Yu couldn't refuse King Xia's kindness, right? In order to better help the mini-dragon grow, then go sit for a while. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Qiangxiao. Chapter 760. Brother, where are you going today? After Yang Xiao put on his new shoes, he used the elf ball to bring the magic wall doll directly with him. Today is a weekend holiday, and Jengar doesn't have to go to work in the ghost tower. Since brother Yang Yu said he was going to an important place, Yang Xiao naturally took the elf at home. I brought them all. As for the hard-working magic wall doll, Yang Xiao likes this kind of elf very much. If you want to eat some authentic Western-style meals in the future, just ask Makyang doll to cook it. In terms of Western food, Makyang doll is still very accomplished. At least in those high-end Western restaurants in China, it may not be as good as Makyang. Wall puppets are professional. But recently, the magic wall doll has to follow the local customs, and these days he and Dede are learning to cook home-cooked dishes. The Dai Dai family's grilled fish restaurant has opened 3 branches in Hangzhou, and has branches in important areas such as Kyoto, Shanghai, Jinling, Chang'an, etc. Interestingly, there is one near Hangzhou Dian, Yang Yu's alma mater. There is also one near Yanjing Elf University and Qingjing Elf University. Dede's business is also working hard to open its doors. In mid-March this year, Dede Wang Mili from Sakura Country will have an inspection team come to Hangzhou to inspect the location of Mili's clothing store. As the first Mili from China, clothing store branch. The joy of life in the elf world is nothing more than this. Yang Yu didn't know what to bring to the Wang family in Xiatian, but the electromagnetic popping candies of various sizes made by Dai Dai became Yang Yu's first choice. This is a good thing that can assist elves in training electric moves. At least in terms of the effect of learning electric moves, it is much better than other elf resources on the market. If you are more confident, it can be said to be a direct hit. What's more important is that even if others want to imitate it, they can't do it. Unlike ordinary energy cubes, the price of ordinary energy cubes given by the Elf Alliance is basically very low. Even if others imitate them, the actual cost of counterfeiting them is not as cost-effective as buying them from the Elf Alliance. As for the energy cubes that some unscrupulous merchants have adulterated with fakes, some even use compressed biscuits to fool people, which looks pretty much the same on the outside. The elves will indeed feel full after eating them, but it still has no effect, so it's better to just do it directly, buy it in regular supermarkets or from Elf Alliance stores. Yang Yu is counting on the electromagnetic popping candies to earn a little money for himself, and at the same time save a wife's book for Dede. Although Yang Yu knows that the Dede family can make a lot of small money by making delicious food, but one code is the same. Making more money is always a good thing. As for the gift box, the magic wall doll made it directly by hand. The gift box was well made and even high-end and classy. Yang Yu was so surprised that he almost bit his own tongue. Was this considered a discovery of the magic wall doll's new skill? This guy seemed to know everything, and Yang Yu felt that he had underestimated its power. Brother, is this where you said our country's dragon messenger, King Xia, lives? At this time, Yang Yu and Yang Xiao found Xia Wang's home according to the address given by Xia Wang. However, it seemed that this place was completely different from the high-end villa area that Yang Yu and Yang Xiao had remembered. This place seemed to be a very ordinary community. In the community, the elderly and children were stepping on their legs in the fitness area, and some were playing with the flaming horse-shaped spring wooden horse. The place looked very lively, and it was completely different from Yang Yu's imagination of green mountains and green waters, with villas close to the sea. This seems like it. Yang Yu's tone was not very sure. The address was indeed this address. Mr. Xia Tian couldn't have given him a false address, right? Yang Yu sent a message to Xia Wang. Not long after, Xia Wang's figure appeared at the stairwell of a unit, waving towards Yang Yu and Yang Xiao. Brother, he is the king of summer. Yang Xiao felt a little unbelievable in his eyes. He searched the internet for a photo of Dragon Messenger Xia's Hepeng. He was in formal attire and very energetic. Looking at it now, he is actually no different from ordinary people. What a big difference. Yang Yu, is this your sister Yang Xiao? Doesn't it feel a bit like a king? Xia's Hepeng smiled slightly, with a gentle and elegant aura, a bit like a teacher in ancient times. It is difficult to imagine that this is the famous Huaguo. Dragon Messenger. No, 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 Yang Xiao denied repeatedly, feeling very nervous, but the surprise in her eyes had long betrayed her true thoughts. Come on, let's go up first. Our home is actually quite big. This place is where I stayed when I first came to Hangzhou. I've been living here ever since. I've become emotionally attached to it and can't bear to move. Xia's Hepeng said with a smile. Lao Xia, are there guests? Yes, Lao Litu, we have a guest at home. Xia's Hepeng smiled and said hello to an old man who came over. Is it more lively than those deserted villa areas? King Xia Tian turned around and said, if I were your age, then I would definitely like to live in a big house or villa. The bigger the better. It feels like, as I get older, I like to be lively and lively. Xia Tian's Wang family is on the 4th floor. There is no elevator and it is not very high. Inside the door, there is something special. Dad, some uncle from the Heavenly King came to our house to see if I can secretly learn some useful elf moves. Xia Yuyu's voice came from inside the house, dragging her slippers and tapping. However, when she saw the familiar face at the door, her face suddenly froze. Yang Yu. Xia Yuyu never expected that the person who came to their home was Yang Yu. How did Yang Yu know that their home was here? Wait, what did she just shout? Uncle! Uncle Yang Yu! Xia Yuyu's face instantly turned red. What a mess! Ahem, hello, Xia Yuyu. Yang Yu didn't expect that Wang Xia's daughter would call Yang Yu uncle as soon as she came up. To be honest, Yang Yu was only 21 years old after the Chinese New Year, so he called him uncle. Unacceptable. But according to what Xia Yuyu said before, there will indeed be guests coming to King Xia Tian, or even several other kings of China. Yang Yu, and this beautiful sister, Happy New Year. Xia Yuyu was surprised that Yang Yu would come to their home, because in Xia Yuyu's impression, except for other kings or some important the children brought by the characters will come here, and other young people, basically no one has this honor. They come here alone, and even bring his sister here. Xiaoyu knew very well that in her father's mind, this home was the real home. Growing up, Xiaoyu was also puzzled as to why her father, who was so powerful, had to live here. In the words of King Xiatian, this is the birthplace of his rise and the foundation for his foothold in the elf world. No matter how powerful he becomes now, he still likes to live here because it feels like home. King Xiatian, here is a little bit of our gratitude. Yang Yu handed the exquisite gift box in. You're already here, what gifts do you bring? King Xiatian said this, but he was still very happy in his heart. Maybe this is a tradition, and courtesy is reciprocated. Xiaoyu, help me get it? Xiaoyu nodded quickly, as if she had been granted amnesty, and ran away with the gift box in hand, leaving this embarrassing place of right and wrong. Putting on their shoe covers, Yang Yu and Yang Xiao followed King Xia into the house. The heating is on in the room, and the decoration is mainly in warm colors. The interior is actually quite spacious. Yang Yu can also see photos of King Xiatian and his elf when they were young on the wall. Some of the photos are even very old. Xiaoyu served tea and water without the eldest lady's temper. More importantly, the person who came was Yang Yu, a legendary young trainer who relied on himself to get to where he is now step by step. Such qualities were enough to attract a large number of young female trainers. Xiaoyu is naturally no exception. Because she was born in a family of heavenly kings, Xiaoyu has longed to become a powerful trainer like her father since she was a child because of her father. Of her two brothers, the eldest brother works in the Kyoto Elf Alliance, and the second brother is now also a gymnasium. A super trainer, but compared to Yang Yu is younger. Xiaoyu's own admiration for the strong, coupled with Xiaoyu's accidental encounter with Yang Yu during the military training of her freshman year. At that time, Yang Yu was ordinary except for being a fat carp king, which made people think it was funny. But who could have thought that that ordinary young man would reach this point step by step in less than 2 years? The Battle of the Heavenly Kings of Sakura Country's Fushi Mountain established Yang Yu's unshakable absolute status among the younger generation of China. In the past, Yang Yu might have been emaciated due to malnutrition, but now Yang Yu has stayed alive and has improved his physique. Even in the recent winter, he has not forgotten to have 1v1 physical exercises with Guogua Pao Frog. It's not too much to call him a handsome man, right? This is also the real reason why Xiaoyu ran away before. How can he be called uncle? Of course, Yang Yu couldn't guess Xiaoyu's thoughts. Instead, Yang Yu felt that the heating was too hot. However, Yang Xiao, who was also a girl, had some keen feelings in her heart, but she could not tell the truth. After I go to Kyoto to teach this time, I will introduce you to my eldest son. He works in the computer department of Metagross. You can ask him to help arrange anything in Kyoto. Xia's Hepeng smiled. Road. King Xiatian. Yang Yu was about to speak. You don't need to call me King Xia. We are so different. As I said before, with the connection between your mini dragon and my fast dragon, you can just call me Brother Xia, Xia's Hepeng said angrily. Ah! Just when Yang Yugong was about to call Brother Xia, an extremely loud voice suddenly sounded from the side, and there was even a feeling of sadness and anger. Xiao's Hepeng reminded her slightly. Dad, he calls you Big Brother, then what should I call him? And what's the connection between Yang Yu's mini dragon and your fast dragon? Xiaoyu suddenly felt a little broken. Why did Yang Yu become brothers with her father? This, what is this? Xiaoyu, Maiku Ailong, and Yang Yu's mini dragon are the same generation. In the words of us human trainers, Maiku Ailong is the big brother of his mini dragon. Xia's Hepeng slowly analyzed it for Xiaoyu. You my mini dragon, oh no, your Harker dragon is the descendant of Maiku Ailong. In terms of seniority, Yang Yu's mini-dragon is a female mini-dragon, right? Xia's Hepeng looked back at Yang Yu. Ah. Well, yes, Yang Yu was stunned for a moment, then nodded subconsciously. Xia's Hepeng continued, then you should call me aunt, I don't care what you call each other. I only care about the name between Yang Yu and I. He calls me big brother, that's it? Actually, it's not impossible to call me uncle. Yang Yu said weakly, didn't you want to learn my elf's trick before? This, it seems, is also possible. Xiaoyu? Yang Xiao? Yang Yu finally realized what Xiaoyu was thinking. It turned out that he had called him uncle before, just to learn his elf's tricks. Call your uncle to learn a trick, Xiaoyu, it will be a huge profit. If you don't scream, or if you don't scream, I will call you Yang Yu. Xiaoyu blushed and spat, but she still had the aura of being the daughter of the dragon messenger Xia Wang. Not only that, I also want to learn this unique trick. Hiss. Yang Yu took a breath of air in his heart. You actually want to have sex for nothing. Damn it. However, considering that she is the daughter of the Summer King, Yang Yu feels that it is not impossible to teach her the elf's unique skills. After all, Yang Yu came to Brother Xia's Hepeng's house this time to help the mini-dragon evolve better and also learn the shooting star. A powerful move for the group. Just treat it as helping your little niece and don't argue with your little niece. Xia's Hepeng shrugged, young people are full of energy. You can learn my tricks, but can your mini-dragon spray flames, or dragon's wrath and 100,000 volts? Yang Yu was about to teach Xiaoyu's elf the dragon destruction slash, but he still subconsciously thought that Xiaoyu's mini-dragon is still a mini-dragon. After all, he hasn't seen it for a long time, and Yang Yu's impression only stays at that stage during military training. Shenlong destruction slash is a combination of dragon's wrath and 100,000 volts. If there is no dragon's wrath, it can also be done by spraying flames. The principle is basically the same. Please, my mini-dragon has evolved into a hack dragon. My father just mentioned it in his words. Xiaoyu couldn't help complaining in her heart, but she didn't show it in her tone, because in front of Yang Yu, the evolution of the mini-dragon into the hack dragon has nothing to show off. Also, the mini-dragon of Dragon's Fury can be mastered, but how can the mini-dragon master the jet flame and 100,000 volts? After all, the power of these two moves requires a very huge amount of energy to support, and the mini-dragon has no way to control it. The power of such a powerful move, Xiaoyu continued to add, that's what my father said, learn the right and appropriate moves at the right time for the elves, and don't aim too high. Xia's Hepeng felt his old face blush slightly. Yang Xiao secretly covered his mouth. Yang Yu scratched his head and said weakly, that, my mini-dragon can do it. Xiaoyu. In addition to jetting flames, it can also produce 100,000 volts and freezing rays. Xiaoyu. At this moment, Dragon Messenger Xia's Hepeng's eyes were instantly fixed on Yang Yu, and his whole aura suddenly exploded. His voice could not help but tremble because of the surprise, and even became hoarse. Really, really. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 761. Qianlong Mountain. The name of this mountain was chosen by Xia's Hepeng himself. Although his eldest son, second son, and youngest daughter complained about it one after another, Xia's Hepeng still liked to call it that. This is Xia's Hepeng's personal secret base. In fact, becoming a dragon messenger is also very distressing. As his strength increases, his elves are no longer the little elves that can be raised at home. All of Xia's Hepeng's dragon elves cannot live in this old house. It's also a pity. Qianlong Mountain is a place in Hangzhou where Xiazhepeng recuperates for his king-level dragon-type elves. At this level of strength, Xiazhepeng hopes that his elves will live more freely. Accompanying Xiazhepeng, he has been fighting all over the world. Xiazhepeng is not as old as before, and the high-intensity elf battle is also a load for him. Of course, if the country needs him to take action, the moment he wears the title of Dragon Messenger from among the ordinary people, he will be China's #1 heavenly king, Dragon Messenger Xiazhepeng. Hurry up, Yang Yu, summon your mini-dragon and let me take a look, a lot. Yang Yu secretly complained in his heart. Although King Xia was close to 60 years old, his physical strength was really beyond the reach of ordinary people. He walked a long way and his steps were still steady and strong. Brother, King Xia Tian's physical fitness is really good, Yang Xiao said in surprise while trotting behind with Xia Yu. Haha, of course. I have been flying in the sky when I was young. Even sitting on the back of an elf would be very tiring. If you are not physically strong, you will easily collapse from being tired on your back, Xiazhepeng replied happily. For Xia Yu, she can't wait to see Yang Yu's mini-dragon. For her, she is also a trainer who has raised a mini-dragon. Who doesn't like that their elf can master powerful moves? Xia Yu is naturally no exception. Xiazhepeng did not stop Xia Yu from teaching the mini-dragon to learn these moves, and was even happy for Xia Yu to try it. Sometimes, it is useless to talk about it verbally. Only by trying it yourself can you understand the difficulties and truly realize that your ideas are wrong. Just now. Breaking the rules again? You know, after Xia Yu's mini-dragon evolved into a hack dragon, she mastered the move of spraying flames, but the two moves of 100,000 volts and freezing light still have no way. Subconsciously, Xia Yu felt that even her hack dragon had not learned these three powerful moves at the same time. How could it be possible for Yang Yu's mini-dragon? But it was precisely because the person in front of her was Yang Yu, and the person who said this was a young trainer who was good at creating miracles, that Xia Yu did not directly say this is impossible like a fool. This was in front of her father, Xiazhepeng, the Huaguo dragon messenger. If Yang Yu hadn't really cultivated such a mini-dragon that could master jet flames, freezing light, and 100,000 volts, would he have said such a thing? This is impossible. Yang Yu would never make fun of his own reputation. Since it's impossible, it's true. Only. Even though they knew this was a fact, Xiazhepeng and Xia Yu, father and daughter, still wanted to see the mini-dragon use the three moves of jet flame, freezing beam, and 100,000 volts. Mum. The mini-dragon looked left and right. Could it be that he had arrived at a new place to eat? I've never been to this place before. For Little Dream Demon and Tajipai, there is nothing interesting here. It is actually an open space in the mountains, and there are caves, suitable for temporary residence of dragon elves. Oh dash. When Kuai Long next to Xiazhepeng saw Yang Yu's mini-dragon, he rarely put down the aura of a king-level elf. This is an inseparable kinship in the blood. For the mini-dragon, Kuai Long's eyes are only about his identity. Brothers doting. Come on, let the mini-dragon show off its three major moves. Let me see it in my lifetime, a miracle in the world of elf cultivation. Xiazhepeng's tone had softened a bit, but he still did not calm down. You must know that Xiazhepeng, the Chinese dragon envoy, has seen many storms and waves in the elven world. Even when he faced the Western Dragon King Caesar before, he remained calm and would not make any mistakes. But now, Xiazhepeng knew very well that wanting the mini-dragon to learn moves such as Flame Spray, Freezing Beam, and 100,000 volts was equivalent to letting Charmander master the Big Explosion, Squirtle to learn the high-pressure water cannon, and Bulbasaur to learn the Solar Beam. It is impossible in itself. In the elf world, there is no precedent. Even if Xiazhepeng himself cultivated mini-dragons when he was young, he also tried to let mini-dragons learn these moves, but it was still impossible because the energy of many dragons themselves could not support them to release such powerful moves. In China's elf textbooks, 9 years of compulsory education from elf elementary school to elf high school, if someone chooses the answer that a mini dragon can control 100,000 volts in a multiple choice question, the teacher will take it out as a model. The sub-questions were clearly given to you, but you still don't want them. What can you do as a teacher? But now, the knowledge in textbooks is going to be revised. In fact, there is already a lot of knowledge that cannot keep up with the current era of elves. The elven world is changing. Every time a world-class secret realm appears, a new race of elves may appear. Textbooks also need to keep up with the times. Yang Yu's version of Electric Gyarados has already begun to be compiled into a brand new elf textbook. Perhaps the elf textbook will be rewritten again just before it is ready to be printed. Mini Dragon, shoot out flames. I'll treat you to hot pot when I get back. Mum. A flame burst out from the mini dragon's mouth easily and happily, and the dancing sparks set off the excitement of the mini dragon. Just blow fire and you can eat hot pot. It's a bloody profit. Xiazhepeng. Xiaoyu. What I said before is quite normal. What the hell is that sentence after Tama, I'll treat you to hot pot when I go back. However, when the increasingly fierce flames spurted out from the mini dragon's mouth, the eyes of Xiazhepeng and Xiaoyu changed almost at the same time, from a brief doubt to a light of excitement that could not be concealed. Miracle. It's really a miracle. Xiazhepeng's heartbeat continued to accelerate. This king never thought that the mini dragon with the ability to spray flames could actually appear in front of him. It is indeed a flame jet, it is really a flame jet, oh my god. How is this done, how is it done, how do I feel that this flame jet is more skillful than my Hakran? Do you want to be stronger? Xiaoyu summoned her hack dragon and let it participate in the moment of witnessing the miracle. This is a miracle that belongs to the mini dragon, and it is also a miracle that belongs to Yang Yu. When Hakran's eyes fell on the jet flame, which was no less powerful than the one it used, it was actually ejected from the mouth of the mini dragon. For the first time, Hakran's eyes were also shocked. Is this still a mini dragon? Could it be that my previous form was not a mini dragon but a basilisk? Just when Hakran was doubting his true identity, a blue beam of light that frightened Hakran was ejected from the mini dragon's mouth again. In this freezing light that sparkled with ice crystals, there was even an aura that made Hark-Aron feel uncomfortable beyond words, and this aura, the impact on Kuai Long is even greater. This is the exclusive fairy atmosphere belonging to the mini dragon's freezing light. Although this breath is very weak, for dragon elves who are particularly sensitive to fairy atmosphere, they can feel even the slightest trace. Kuai Long also started to panic a little. Could it be that, among the dragon elves, there is a traitor in their family? Or was this mini dragon the secret illegitimate child of his father and a goblin? But even if it is a mini dragon born from a fairy, the mini dragon is still a dragon. If the Kuai Long's father, who is in the secret realm of the East China Sea Dragon Palace, knows about this Kuai Long's thoughts, I'm afraid there will be a round of righteous extermination of relatives. This itself is a fatal freezing light for the dragon and flying elf dragons, especially the fairy aura. Who can withstand this? Neither Xiazhepeng nor Xiaoyu thought much about it. No one would have guessed that the freezing light mastered by Yang Yu's mini dragon would have a fairy-like aura. The freezing light itself is restrained for dragon elves. In addition, Kuai Long, who is now in shock, has not yet reported the weirdness of the freezing light to Xiazhepeng. Therefore, Xiazhepeng and Xiaoyu felt that Kuai Long and it is quite normal for a Harkran to feel discomfort. What left Xiazhepeng and Xiaoyu speechless was that the moves Yang Yu shouted were followed by some random words. Please eat hot pot later and ice cream later. Is this how these moves bring out the potential of the mini dragon? While the father and daughter were dumbfounded, Yang Yu shouted out the move mastered by the third mini dragon. Mini dragon, 100,000 volts. Candy please. Mum. When the golden shining light burst out from the mini dragon, the venue was instantly lit up. The dazzling electric light affected the hearts of Xia's Hepeng and Xia Yuyu at this moment, just like the raging 10 people at this moment. Like 10,000 volts, a whole new world seemed to have opened up in their hearts. It turns out that many dragons can also learn to shoot fire. It turns out that many dragons can also learn to freeze light. It turns out, many dragons can also learn 100,000 volts. Beyond the top breeders, this is no longer what a top breeder can be called, plus the electric storage Scarlet Gyrodosaurus in front. In the field of cultivators of the Chinese nation, I, the dragon messenger of the Chinese nation, Xia's Hepeng, would like to call you the strongest. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 762. What kind of mood is this? The impossible thing really happened before his eyes. For Xia's Hepeng, it was like a dream that had not been completed decades ago, blooming in Yang Yu's hands at this moment. Such surprise and joy, if it were at home, Xia's Hepeng would definitely run to the community and notify the neighbors one by one. Success. This is real. Even a newcomer who has just entered the training threshold will be ambitious to let the elf in the initial form he has just obtained learn these powerful moves. Xia's Hepeng was no exception back then. But what? Teaching the mini dragon a move like 100,000 volts is like teaching advanced math problems to kindergarten children. The kids' minds must be full of question marks. The mini dragon must also be confused. You don't have any foundation in moves, and you don't have the support of strength, so you just want to master difficult and powerful moves directly? It's not like any elf can be like Tajipai, who can make earth-shattering moves just by shaking his finger. It's like the fulfillment of a wish. What I failed to do when I was young, in my lifetime, I can see other young trainers through their careful cultivation, let the mini dragon not only master the jet flame, but also master the freezing light and 100,000 volts. This is, how did you do it? This question is even more touching to Xia Yuyu. Because the mini dragon is her first elf. The difficulty of cultivating a mini dragon, Xia Yuyu knew it clearly in her heart. Even now that she has evolved into the Harker dragon, she has only mastered the skill of spraying flames. She has not yet mastered the technique of 100,000 volts and freezing light. No comparison, no harm. Mum. The mini dragon opened its mouth, burped, and smashed its mouth. It used 3 moves in succession. It still felt a little numb in its mouth and it was not particularly adapted to it. But grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr dragon next to it was surprisingly motionless. The mini-dragon tilted its head. What happened? Of course, mini-dragon doesn't know how much what it does now will shock Kuai-Long, Hakran, and the father and daughter Xiazhepeng and Xiaoyu. These are not things it cares about. What it cares about? Where are the snacks? Where can I find something delicious? However, the mini-dragon looked at the empty venue, not even a fruit tree. Mum. The mini-dragon turned around and came over to Yang Yu, raised his head, and shouted out the toughest cry in the most pitiful way, begging for food. This job is left to the little dream demon. The little dream monster threw the energy cube, and the mini-dragon happily slipped over to catch it with a swish, 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 and was even very happy. Xiazhepeng and Xiaoyu were speechless when they saw this scene. This is a mini-dragon, a dragon elf mini-dragon. Not a coyote. How was this done? Xiaoyu's eyes were still in a daze and she had not yet recovered. This was an indescribable huge blow to her, like a huge boulder pressing on her heart. To be fair, her hack dragon has not yet learned the freezing light and 100,000 volts. Yang Yu's mini-dragon not only learned it, but was even able to use it with ease. It didn't look like he had just learned it. Could it be that the mini-dragon is the evolved form of the hack dragon? Xia Yuya kept raising and raising her mini-dragon and degraded it. This Yang Yu is a pervert. Isn't it? Yang Yu became famous in the forest team competition of the national competition. At that time, Hu Jing's Leichu from Yanjing Elf University used 100,000 volts and thunder to hit Yang Yu's Gyarados. In the end, it was useless. It turns out that it already had the ability to store electricity at that time. What impressed Xia Yuyu the most was the roar Gyarados made when it was struck by lightning. It turned out that it was not a sound of pain. In fact, it was so exciting to hear the sound of taking off. Xia Yuyu feels like she has more and more strange question marks. In this way, your mini-dragon background will be quite terrifying. If you can master these 3 major moves in the mini-dragon period, if you evolve in the future, each evolution will be even greater than other elves. The basics are already so solid, I really couldn't imagine that I would see such a scene in my lifetime. Xia Zhepeng was full of praise in his words. Yang Yu is a young trainer from China. Now after the Chinese New Year, he is only 21 years old. He has a bright future, a bright future. This, Yang Yu, let me ask you, how did you breed such a mini-dragon? Xia Yuyu even had the urge to become a disciple. This directly refreshed Xia Yuyu's worldview. Because this is something that even her father, Huaquilong Messenger Xia Zhepeng, can't do. In the entire elven world, elves cannot master high-power moves in their initial form. This is the most basic truth. This is a basic rule. In the 9-year compulsory education in China, teachers teach this, and some even do not believe in evil. Students tried it, but without exception, they all failed. But now, the most basic law is broken in Yang Yu's hands. Yang Yu's magical cultivation makes the impossible become a reality. This should be the talent of the mini-dragon. In fact, the leader of the fire gymnasium also knows that I learned the flame jet from his gym. Yang Yu scratched his head and said, "Can I learn by going to the fire gym? However, I have also been to the fire gym and asked Uncle Zhang to teach the mini-dragon how to spray flames, but it still doesn't work," Xia Yuyu replied. "Have you ever eaten hot pot there?" "What? I mean, did you let your mini-dragon eat the hot pot in Master Zhang's fire gym?" Yang Yu gestured. "Xia Yuyu? Why does this have anything to do with eating hot pot? Could it be that eating hot pot can teach you how to shoot flames? Aren't you kidding me?" Xia Yuyu thought Yang Yu was joking, but the sudden sound beside her made her startled and extremely surprised. Xia Zhepeng's voice was like thunder. Could it be that it's the flames that come from eating hot pot? "Dad, how is this possible? If you can eat hot pot and shoot flames, such a move would be so easy to learn. Then there is no point in making a learning machine, and a learning machine that shoots flames is so expensive." Xia Yuyu said, "This is the first time I express my inner rebuttal. Because you can master jetting flames by eating hot pot. This is nonsense." Even if Yang Yu said it was a secret and difficult to tell, Xia Yuyu wouldn't say anything. Because he has cultivated such an incredible mini-dragon, Yang Yu must have cultivated the secret himself, and he does not want others to know. This is normal. Looking at the country and even the world, only Yang Yu has cultivated a mini-dragon that can master jet flames, freezing light, and 100,000 volts. He is more awesome than the top team of breeders in the country, because in addition to this, Yang Yu, in addition to the mini-dragon, there are also electric Gyarados and China's second meanest. There is no exaggeration in what Dragon Messenger Xia Zhepeng said. Yang Yu is indeed the strongest cultivator now, because the elves cultivated by Yang Yu are impossible for anyone else to do, and even, they need to go look up. Because of these reasons, Xia Yuyu felt, Yang Yu was joking, and why did her dad feel like he was taking Yang Yu's joke seriously? "Sister, my brother is really not joking. I was also there at that time. We ate hot pot together, my brother's mini-dragon, I just took a bite of the hot pot with that special base, and it was so spicy that fire burst out. Later, the mini dragon will master it as he eats it. Yang Xiao understood Xiaoyu's thoughts very well. Unless you see it with your own eyes, really, no one will believe it. But this is where Yang Xiao admires his brother very much. Brother Yang Yu not only did what others couldn't do, but he can also do it better. Well, that's true. The mini dragon will get better as you eat it. I'm really not kidding, and there's no need to make such a joke, Yang Yuyong replied in a very serious tone. As you eat, you will get it right? Xia Yuyu looked a little dazed. She felt that her worldview, which had not been refreshed for a long time, at this moment, collapsed again. Is this human language? What the hell is this human talk? Even if it's eating, even if you talk about how many difficulties you have gone through, how much elven resources have been spent, how many times you have prepared the secret food recipe, you have encountered 99 and 81 difficulties, and finally you have spent 9 times trying. It took the power of 2 cows and 2 tigers to come up with the correct secret recipe that allows the mini dragon to master the spray of flames. Just eating hot pot. As you eat and eat, you will spit out flames. Can you be serious? This is a nurturing elf. Just as Xiaoyu was doubting her life, Xiaozupen next to her smiled heartily and suddenly realized, no wonder you asked the mini dragon to eat hot pot before. It turns out that this is to encourage the mini dragon to use more powerful flames. Invite the mini dragon to eat ice cream, can stimulate the powerful effect of freezing light. Please treat the mini dragon to eat candy, you can. Xiaozupen's voice suddenly got stuck here. The combination of eating hot pot and jetting flames is understandable, and the combination of eating ice cream and freezing light is also understandable, but what about the last one, 100,000 volts? What sugar? What kind of candy is so awesome that it can actually make a mini dragon drink 100,000 volts? Brother Yang Yu, what kind of candy is so powerful and contains electric power that is suitable for elves to eat? It seems that it is not sold in the Elf Alliance at present. Or maybe the Elf Alliance has not developed it yet. Xiaozupen grasped the real key in an instant. Yang Yu, could he have mastered the cultivation technology for making electric candies like this? If this is the case, non-electric elves can feel the power of electric attributes without being harmed. What does this mean in the elf cultivation world? It will definitely cause a big earthquake in the cultivation world. The gift I brought this time is the electromagnetic popping candy that the mini dragon eats. Just, doo-doo. Yang Yu gestured to doo-doo. Yeah. There was a box in Dede's hand. When the box was opened, there seemed to be an incredible magic that caught the eyes of Xiaozupen and Xiaoyu. What kind of candy is this? A scene that seems to be pregnant with a new world. Each translucent electromagnetic popping candy looks like an independent world when you look at it quietly. Xiaoyu, where did you put that box? The storage room at home. The father and daughter looked at each other in perfect understanding. This is a great gift from Yang Yu. What are you doing standing around here? Go home quickly. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Shao. Chapter 763. Yang Yu watched Brother Xia rushing home on a fast dragon in a hurry, and then rushing back in a hurry, holding an exquisite gift box in his hand. Yang Yu was very suspicious that King Xia had given the super speed to the flying dragon. The instructions came and went, and it felt like it only took a few breaths. It is not a short journey from Jianlong Mountain to Xiaozupen's house. At long distances, what cannot be done by teleportation can only be done by super speed. I'm back. My body is not as good as before. I used to sit on the back of Kuai Long and drive at great speed. I couldn't even take a breath, and I wasn't as tired as now. Xiaozupen smiled and already gave Yang Yu to them in his hand. The gift box was brought over. Well, Brother Xia, Don't go to all the trouble to rush back, I still have this electromagnetic popping candy here, Yang Yu gestured weakly. The way Xia's Hepeng acted so vigorously and resolutely, he indeed had the demeanor of a Chinese dragon envoy. Such a gift is so valuable. Xia's Hepeng sighed, looking at the gift box in his hand. It was even a little heavy. This is more precious than a 100,000-volt learning machine. Like Xiaoyu's Hakran, it is not an electric elf. If you want to learn 100,000 volts, it will be very difficult to learn it with just a learning machine, because it cannot directly use the energy of the electric system proficiently. Learning 100,000 volts is a process. It cannot be that any elf can fly directly into the sky and play with the thunder clouds like the salted fish king, turning thunder and lightning into his own power. Whether it is 100,000 volts or thunder, as long as there is enough of electricity, you can use it. This is also the reason why the salty fish king has always been covetous of the army of insect electric treasures and lightning birds. If the salty fish king uses an extra 100,000 volts and thunder, it will be weak and out of power. At this time, he needs an army of insect electric treasures or lightning birds. The powerful charge of the lightning bird, once fully charged, the salted fish king can jump around and discharge at will. Therefore, for other non-electric elves, the most difficult thing is to understand what the power of electricity is like at the beginning, and the fastest way to understand is to be electrocuted or struck by lightning. Of course, this thunder is not the thunder from the sky, but the feeling when being hit by an electric move after fighting against an electric elf. In the past, when there were no conditions, this was the stupidest way. Now that there are training equipment, although it is much more convenient, it still cannot change the fact that the elves need to be shocked. The more powerful the moves, the more effort you need to put in, and you need to endure more injuries during training, because you may not fully master them and injure yourself instead. This is a fact that is difficult to change. However, like Yang Yu's mini dragon, he learned these powerful moves while eating, just like the kind of class in school that doesn't seem to be serious, and he doesn't review much after class, but his test scores a gifted academic who is often very good. How can others live like this? Now, although it may not be able to keep up with the pace of the mini dragon, there is a brand new elf food that helps the elf learn electric moves. Xiaoyu's breathing became rapid at this moment. Is it that her Hakran also has the opportunity to try to improve his understanding of the power of electricity? She never thought that the gift Yang Yu brought to their home would be such a big gift. Xiaoyu, let your Hakran give it a try. No matter whether it is useful or not, you have to try it before you can know whether it is useful or not. Just like energy cubes and other new elf resources are produced, you have to try them first. Just found out, Xia's Hepeng handed the box to Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu nodded excitedly, stretched out her hand to signal her Hakran to come over, and at the same time took a small candy wrapped in a transparent plastic shell from the gift box. Mum. Before the Harker dragon is ready to eat, the mini dragon is already greedy. Yang Yu and Yang Xiao looked at each other and couldn't help but smile. Yang Yu quickly pulled the mini dragon to his side. Don't be embarrassed at this time. He didn't even know how many creamy electromagnetic products he had eaten. Popping candy actually covets the gifts Yang Yu gave to others. How did Yang Yu know that in the eyes of mini dragon, the electromagnetic popping candy that Yang Yu gave to others was completely different from the one he ate? If you look at the packaging box, it looks very high-end, very grand, and classy. Plus, the popping candy inside has a transparent plastic ball-shaped packaging, which instantly makes it look high-end. It rose up like a squirt. After a comparison, it's obvious that other people's ones taste better. In order to prevent the mini dragon from continuing to beep here, Yang Yu directly ate an electromagnetic popping candy for it. Now, Enon was convinced that it would not be beefed at least in a short time, but look at the mini dragon. Her eyes were still staring in the direction of Xiaoyu's hand. Yang Yu wondered if he could put ordinary energy cubes in a higher-end box in the future. Would the mini dragons also eat them deliciously? It smells like cream. When Xiaoyu unscrewed the ball-shaped shell wrapped in the electromagnetic popping candy, she smelled a light cream smell, which was very good. Xiaoyu's Hakran stared at the candy in his master's hand. Although there seemed to be flashing lightning inside, the sweet smell and the exquisite candy shape made Hakran unable to refuse. Carefully, pop one into your mouth. This is the sweetness that Hakran likes, the aroma of cream in candy. How can I put it, it seems to be a taste that I have never tasted before. It is very strange, but it is really fragrant. After a while, Hakran felt that his mouth was filled with the taste of cream. Eating such candy was a kind of enjoyment. Is it delicious? Xiaoyu looked at the happy expression on Ha Kalong's face and smiled. In any case, the taste of the candy must be excellent. It is so sweet that Xiaoyu wants to try it. However, considering that this is food for elves to assist in learning electric moves, Xiaoyu still restrains herself. He held his hand, for fear of accidentally opening one and throwing it into his mouth. Where did Yang Yu find such a powerful dumb king? He can also make exquisite desserts and candies. This is very attractive to girls. Suddenly, the happy expression on Hakran's face suddenly stopped, and his eyes were stunned here. What's wrong? Xiaoyu felt a little nervous. After a while, I heard the soft crackling sound coming from Hakran's mouth. This new experience and the incredible new electric shock made Hakran feel a little confused. Already? Isn't this too emotional? Ugh. Hakran nodded excitedly. This new experience of new food and the slight electric shock in the food not only did not make Hakran feel disgusted, but even made him feel particularly comfortable. He wished he could. One more. The crackling sound in the mouth is the effect of the electric shock caused by the flow of a slight current, right? Xiaohepeng thought thoughtfully. The slight electric shock on the tip of the tongue will spread throughout the body, which not only minimizes the damage of the electric shock, but more importantly, who would say no to such delicious candies? In a very relaxed environment, if you want to train the feeling of electric power, you only need to eat a few candies. Do you need to use those complicated electrical equipment, those training instruments that may cause certain harm to the elves? No need at all. Hey Karan, can you feel the feeling of electric current flowing through it, the effect of electric shock? Xiaoyu's eyes were full of eagerness, wanting to get a clear answer from Hakran. Hey, Hakalong nodded. It's just that Hakran has never experienced such a slight electric shock. In the past, Hakran hated learning new moves, especially 100,000 volts. Wouldn't this kill it? Now, with such candies, Hakran changed from refusing to learn in his heart to accepting it. He even desperately wanted to learn moves like 100,000 volts. Compared with being struck by lightning, who wouldn't want to eat candies like this? How does training feel? This is a kind of enjoyment. Amazing, amazing. I feel like I can't keep up with the times of you young people, Xiaohepeng sighed repeatedly. He also took a slightly larger candy in his hand, unscrewed it, and let Kuai Long have a taste. Kuai Long felt the crackling and slight electric shock on the tip of his tongue, which spread throughout his body. He even accidentally couldn't hold it back and burst into tears. 100,000 volts. It hurts to say too much. When I was learning 100,000 volts during the Hack Dragon period, if there were such candy, would Kuai Long still need to enter the thunder pool to feel the power of the electric system? That's not training at all, it's clearly fried Hakran. Entering the thunder pool was like jumping into a frying pan, crackling. If it weren't for Hakran's single dragon attribute, which has natural resistance to electric power, Kuai Long felt that he might have turned into a child who was fried until golden. The deep-fried Hakran. Me. 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 The mini-dragon tilted its head, its eyes wanting to eat the candies in the gift box even more. Both Kui Long and Hakran were so excited that they shed tears. If it wasn't so delicious, would they be so excited that they shed tears? Won't. This means, the candy in the gift box is definitely more delicious than the candy in bulk, and the more exquisitely packaged the gift box, the more delicious the candy inside is. The mini dragon has never cried because the food is good. It has always been sad because there is nothing to eat. The mini dragon also wants to taste the feeling of crying while eating delicious food. Yang Yu looked at the mini dragon in his hand, his brain aching. This stupid, cute, and stupid mini dragon, if it were someone else's child, it would be spoiled. If you change the packaging to a more advanced one, you can't help but buy it. If you add a limited edition, the word limited will be all over your mind. Yang Yu took a candy from Dede, borrowed the transparent spherical plastic shell from Xiaoyu's hand, put it in the gift box in front of a mini dragon, closed the gift box, opened it, and took it out again, opened the plastic shell and handed it in front of the mini dragon. Me. 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 The mini dragon shook the tip of its tail excitedly, and ate the electromagnetic popping candy in Yang Yu's hand in one gulp, finally showing an extremely satisfied expression on his face. I felt like the electromagnetic popping candy I ate came in a gift box, and it was that high-end, classy candy Namai. Yang Yu. Yang Xiao. Little Dream Demon. Mini Dragon, please leave the group. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 764. It must be very difficult to make these candies. Xiaoyu once again looked at the candies in the box with golden light shining inside. At this moment, she was not only shocked, but also shocked. Many research institutes in the elf world that study new elf food resources are at a loss for food that can help the elf understand the power of electricity. If it were easy to make, the Elf Alliance should be selling it in large quantities by now. But what? There are no such resources in the Elf Alliance, nor in the world. Except for the magnetite containing electric power that is eaten by steel and rock elves, it is only available here in Yang Yu. What does this mean? This shows that Yang Yu and his dumb king have mastered the secret production method, and for such a method, the materials must be very special, and the processes inside must be very complicated. The tasting of Hakran and Kui Long confirmed that these candies have a certain effect in assisting in learning electric moves, which means that these candies are not only mysterious and beautiful on the surface, but also have incredible effects. It is precisely because these two factors appear simultaneously in elf resources such as electromagnetic popping candies that Xiaoyu suddenly became a loyal fan of electromagnetic popping candies. Such a candy that has both divine appearance and incredible effects definitely took Yang Yu a lot of thought. For such a powerful trainer to have such an incredible talent as a breeder, it is really amazing. People are so realistic. If she had been in military training before, Xiaoyu might have just glanced at him casually, but what attracted her might have been the Carp King with his two big eyes. Carp King's eyes were so funny. However, who would have thought that Yang Yu's rise would be so fast? Xiaoyu has the best elf resources and the strongest backer behind her, and she also works very hard. However, under such conditions, she still cannot compare to Yang Yu. Whether it's a trainer or a breeder. Just when Xiaoyu was looking forward to Yang Yu's answer to her question, Yang Yu's words mercilessly hit her heart. No, it's very simple now. You can do a lot in just a moment, Yang Yu answered truthfully. In front of Dragon Messenger Xiaozhepeng, there was no need to reserve this. This is not the past. Yang Yu's status in the Elf Alliance now gives Yang Yu enough confidence to say this. Hide your strength when it's time to hide it, and show your strength when it's time to show it. Not to mention. What Yang Yu said is the truth. It's really simple. The smile on Xiaoyu's face froze again. She suddenly wanted to go home. She didn't want to be with Yang Yude. It was such a huge blow. Yang Xiao quickly turned around, facing away from brother Yang Yu and Xiaoyu, covering his mouth with his hand and laughing secretly. Brother Yang Yu is still the same brother Yang Yu. Last year, he also had two young ladies. Brother Yang Yu's chatting ability can really cut off the topic. How can we continue talking like this? It's mainly the hard candy shell on the outside, right? Such raw materials should be very rare. Brother Yang Yu, is this a new material you found in the secret realm of Sky City? Xiao Zhepeng's eyes were very vicious, and he hit the nail on the head. Of. Yang Yu nodded, yes, one of the raw materials is a kind of fresh cream foamed from the body of fairies. Just when Yang Yu finished saying this, Hakalong and Kuai Long, who were eating happily over there, suddenly stared with their eyes wide on the left and small on the right. Their eyelids were still twitching, and their bodies became stiff. Hakran, oh. Oh. Kuai Long, oh. Oh. What did they hear? Monsters, 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 fairies. Or the whipped cream foaming from the fairies. This information was like a thunderbolt to Kuai Long and Hakran. Ruined. They are not clean anymore. They actually eat candies made from the fresh cream foamed by the fairies. They became dragon traders. Hakran ate another candy with tears in his eyes, not because he wanted to be a traitor. This candy is really delicious. Kuai Long looked at the little bastard next to him who had no willpower at all. He really doubted whether he was his son. Did he know that when eating candy, he should respect his elders first? Looking for a fight? Kuai Long directly showed Hakalong what father's love is like a mountain means. To put it simply, it means what dad means. If this Hakasaurus was still in the mini-dragon stage, the Quailosaurus would definitely give in to the mini-dragon, but after evolving into a Hakasaurus, this means that the mini-dragon has grown up. It will be easier to handle when you grow up. As long as you can't be beaten to death. There is nothing more true than this. If he lived in a primitive environment without a trainer, then Hakran should leave home and go into a new world of his own. How could he stay at home and grow old? Drive them out? Fortunately, Hakran is still very discerning. He passes goblin candies to Father Kuai Long, and after eating them, everyone works together, and they become good brothers. Hakalong has already thought about it. If he is discovered by his mother in the future, he will tell her that this is what his father brought him to eat. If asked by his own grandfather in the East China Sea Dragon Palace, Hakalong will also answer the same, so happily decided. Kuai Long has also thought about it. If his wife asks him about it, he will say that his son brought it to honor his parents. If he asks Kuai Long's father from the East China Sea Dragon Palace, he will say that his grandson brought it to honor his grandfather. That's it. Happy decision. Hakran and Kuai Long happily ate the electromagnetic popping candy together. I see, did you bring that fairy elf back? Xiao Zhepeng doesn't hate fairy elves as much as before. After all, when he was young, Xiao Zhepeng suffered a lot in order to defeat the fairy gym. And later Xiao Zhepeng had to let his 3 evil dragons learn poisonous moves like sludge bombs. In short, during those days. Forget the past. It doesn't matter now. After all, the hard days are over. Xiao Zhepeng is already the number 1 among the king-level trainers in China. The sullenness of the past has long since disappeared. Xiao Yu, show me your frost milk fairy, Yang Yu said with a smile. This time I brought Xiao Yu here because I wanted Xiao Yu to meet the Chinese dragon messenger. After all, in high school textbooks, the name of the dragon messenger Xiao Zhepeng often appears. Bringing Xiao Yu to know him would be of great help in the future. Come out, Frosty Milk Fairy, Yang Xiao nodded. When Frosty Milk Fairy came out, she was rubbing her eyes sleepily, like a little princess who had just woken up, still cute and adorable. Hakran and Kui Long felt as if they were facing a formidable enemy for the first time, but when they took a sniff, they smelled a richer butter fragrance. In an instant, the tension in their eyes disappeared completely. So delicious. It seems quite cute. Wow, what a cute little elf. Is this the new elf in the Sky City? Also, Frost Milk Fairy, the name sounds nice too. Xiaoyu crouched down quickly and looked at her carefully. The one in front of me is the sleepy-eyed Frosty Milk Fairy with a candy bow. Ha ha ha, no wonder. In this way, only this kind of material can be used to bond this electric power full of penetrating power. In this case, if there is no Frost Milk Fairy, well, this name is good. Xiaozhepeng he praised it repeatedly and then asked, without the fresh cream foaming from the Frosty Milk Fairy, we can't make electromagnetic popping candies, right? Yang Yu nodded and replied, yes, brother Xia is right. Except for Frosty Cream Fairy's fresh cream, other edible materials, there is no way to stabilize the electric power. Of course, magnets are not included. At this time, Xiaoyu was with Yang Xiaoyu. She was carefully looking at the timid Frost Milk Fairy. Seeing such a cute new elf for the first time made Xiaoyu's previous bad feeling of being choked by Yang Yu go away. A lot. The conversation between the two girls quickly started. It's a huge harvest, amazing. The future belongs to you young people. You, the younger generation, are growing up. With you, I feel very relieved. Xiaozhepeng said sincerely. Brother Xia, thank you. By the way, that's right. I want my mini dragon to evolve into a hack dragon. After evolving, I want to learn the meteor swarm moves from your dragon type elf. Do you think it's okay? Yang Yu now made clear his intention. Xiaozhepeng smiled and said 3 words, no. Yang Yu. Haha, don't worry. Why are you in a hurry to evolve the mini dragon into a hack dragon? Since your mini dragon has already learned the 3 moves of jetting flames, freezing light, and 100,000 volts, doesn't it also have blizzard, thunder? Haven't you mastered the big character explosion flame? Xiaozhepeng laughed, his eyes a little narrow. Seeing Yang Yu's surprised expression, Xiaozhepeng felt very happy in his heart. When I get older, I want to tease young trainers, especially young trainers like Yang Yu who are both talented and powerful. Besides, what Yang Yu said before made Xiaoyu choked and speechless. Xiaozhepeng also wanted Yang Yu to feel the feeling of being choked. Of course, it's just a little joke. Xiaozhepeng said in a deep voice at this moment, the evolution of the mini dragon requires you to wait until you have a strong enough power foundation in your body before you choose to evolve. Your mini dragon's situation is very special. According to normal principles, being able to master jet flames, freezing light, and 100,000 volts, the power contained in the body of a mini dragon is absolutely beyond our normal imagination, and is more powerful than any mini dragon in the history of the Elf Alliance. But why didn't the mini dragon choose to evolve under such circumstances? Yang Yu frowned slightly and began to think. Unless it feels that its foundation is not enough, or it still has reasons why it is unwilling to evolve, or it has greater potential that has not been noticed by us. Xiaozhepeng's voice made Yang Yu's mind was buzzing, because Yang Yu seemed to have thought of something. In the elven world, there are indeed situations where elves are unwilling to evolve deep in their hearts. There are many examples in Yang Yu's memory. Wisdom's Pikachu, Wisdom's Bulbasaur, Squirtle, especially in Bulbasaur's mysterious garden. Bulbasaur's ritual can allow Bulbasaur to evolve, but Bulbasaur directly chooses to refuse. There was even the elf Moo Moo Owl during the battle in the Alola region. It chose to swallow the immutable stone directly to keep itself in the form of Moo Moo Owl. Similarly, we cannot forget that Meow Meow in the Team Rocket trio consumed his potential in order to learn human language and was unable to evolve into a cat boss. While he hated the cat boss, he hoped to win Sakeka's favor as Meow Meow. All this, Just as Xiao's Hepeng said, if the mini-dragon did not choose to evolve when it could evolve, there must be a real reason. Yang Yu immediately thought of the answer that was ready to come out. That's the only reason. Yang Yu's eyes flashed with complicated light. The mini-dragon is worried that its evolution will change its form. If it turns into the appearance of a hack dragon, the mini-dragon will be worried about the gap between the mini-dragon's form and the hack dragon's form. Can't my mother Venus recognize her appearance in the reverse world? Because at that time, among the colorful aurora that appeared in the secret realm of the East China Sea Dragon Palace, what the Minas saw was the form of a mini-dragon, not the form of a harker dragon. If that's the case. Yang Yu took a deep breath. This was an extremely firm obsession. Then, why not just let the mini-dragon try to learn the meteor swarm? This suggestion made Yang Yu's heart skip a beat. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 765. Brother Xia, thank you for reminding me. After I go back, I will let the mini-dragon master the basic dragon moves first, and then learn the meteor swarm. Yang Yu seemed to have made a decision. Xiao Yu, is it almost done? We are ready to go back. Okay, brother, I'm coming. Xiao Yu reluctantly watched the frost milk fairy holding a candy in Yang Xiao's hands and eating it, with unspeakable envy in her eyes. I really envy you, having a brother like Yang Yu. Yang Xiao agreed very much, and his words were full of pride. My brother is the best. By the way, Xiao Yu, after your Hakran has mastered 100,000 volts, you can come to me to learn his unique skills. If you want to learn Salted Fish King's unique skills, you can't do it without learning 100,000 volts. Yang Yuxiang, after thinking about it, he said. Xiao Yu's eyes lit up. Is that the Salted Fish King who can defeat many king-level elves in Mount Fuji? Great, I want to learn, I want to learn. It's settled. By the way, how can I find you in the future? Also, if I finish eating the electromagnetic popping candy, how should I buy it from you? Xiao Yu also thought of one thing. No matter how much of this kind of elf resource you collect, it won't feel like a waste. The more, the better. Xiao's Hepeng shook his head. Isn't his daughter usually very smart? Why is this question so low level? This is not simple. Isn't Yang Yu a professor teaching elf battle courses at Yanjing Elf University? Hang, the same goes for City Radio and Television University. If you want to learn tricks from him, just go to the school directly. If you work harder, wouldn't it be enough to get a graduate degree from Yang Yu? Xiao Yu. Dad, am I still your biological child? What are you saying? I'm going to take Yang Yu's postgraduate examination, so I might as well just call him uncle. Etc. What am I thinking? Xiao Yu's mind was in a state of confusion, but as a girl, her intuition told her that whether she went to Yang Yu's graduate school in the future or called her uncle, it would not be a loss. This way, it feels delicious. If I go to Yang Yu's graduate school, will I be one step closer to Yang Yu? So can we get a closer look at what kind of person Yang Yu is? Even. How did Yang Yu cultivate elves, how did he train elves, and how did he achieve such a legendary rise? Yang Yu was like an extremely mysterious mystery, attracting Xiao Yu. She wanted to see what incredible secrets there would be in this mystery. Then I will continue to work hard and strive to obtain the qualifications of a graduate student at Yanjing Elf University as soon as possible. Xiao Yu didn't know why she said that in the end, but she still gritted her teeth and said it. This time it was Yang Yu's turn to have questions in his head. I treat you as my little niece, but you actually, still want to be my student? However, it seems that accepting such a student is quite impressive, which is definitely a good thing. Then keep working hard. You have to start learning the moves of 100,000 volts in the next few days. The new national competition is about to begin. If you can master 100,000 volts before the start of the national competition, it will be of great help to you. Big, Yang Yu reminded. What about you? Are you participating in this year's national competition? Xia Yu couldn't help but ask. If this Yang Yu comes to participate in another national competition, no one else will have anything to do. It is certain that the national competition, forest team competition and individual competition will be, it is simply the return of the big devil. Xia Yu was very conflicted in her heart. She wanted to see Yang Yu control thunder and lightning in the national competition, but she also didn't want to see such a perverted trainer. It was a nightmare to have such a person in their class. Of course I will participate. Xia Yu was almost scared to tears, and her whole body couldn't help but tremble subconsciously. She doesn't want to be reset to zero by the devil's calculator. Last year's national competition, forest team competition, had caused psychological shadow to countless trainers. Although Xia Yu had never tasted that feeling, it was scary to listen to other people's stories. But I am not a player, I have become an instructor. I didn't expect that after becoming a professor, I would not be able to participate in the national competition. Damn it, this is clearly aimed at me. The 30 million prize money in the national competition and the championship reward. As Yang Yu spoke, he felt a little heartbroken. You cannot have it both ways. But Yang Yu still wants them all. Xia Yu. Has this person lost the ability to speak human words? However, this is Yang Yu's strength. A capable person will attract attention wherever he goes. Okay, brother Xia Yu, let's go first. If the electromagnetic popping candies are finished, I will find someone from the Elf Alliance to deliver them to you, Yang Yu said. Thank you so much, brother Yang Yu. When the time comes that you need to learn about meteor swarms, just come to me, Xia Zhepen nodded with a smile. Brother, where is your mini dragon? Where did the mini dragon go? Yang Xiao seemed to have discovered something was wrong. As he said this, where did the mini dragon slip away? The little dream demon pointed in the direction behind Yang Yu's hair. While Yang Yu wasn't paying attention, mini dragon sneaked directly to Long and Long. He didn't treat himself as a guest at all, he even regarded this place as his home. What's more, Long even helped mini dragon with his hands. Turn the plastic casing in the gift box open. Then he gave it to the mini dragon to eat. The Hakarosaur looked at the way the mini dragon was eating candy, and wanted to eat one, but what greeted it was a cereal slap from its father. How much do you love your sister? Especially, or my sister in the mini dragon period? Just look at this situation and you will know. As the biological son of Long, Hakran could only watch the mini dragon eating Tang Tang. Really, those aggrieved eyes were almost on the verge of tears. You are already a mature Harker dragon, and it's time to find food on your own. Do you still have to compete with the mini dragons for food? Of course Long wants to give his sister the best thing. Hakran has troubles that he cannot tell, but this is his elder. Long directly showed his dragon claws. Do you know how to write the 4 words respect the old and love the young? Mini dragon is the elder of Harker dragon. Why should Harker dragon respect his elders? The mini dragon is the original form of the Hack dragon. Hack dragon should take care of the young mini dragon, so what? This is respecting the old and loving the young. Hakran? When Yang Yu saw that not even the last candy was left in the gift box, and was fed to his mini dragon by Long, the corner of Yang Yu's mouth could not help but twitch. Most of the gifts given to others were eaten back by the mini dragons. When the mini dragon found that there were no more candies to eat in the gift box, it twisted its body and was satisfied. It looked at Yang Yu, who seemed to be waiting for it, and quickly, go back, go back. Hold your head high and take credit for rewards. The mini dragon made Yang Yu return more than half of the gifts he sent out. Give thumbs up to your witty self. Looking at the empty gift box and the unscrewed plastic shell, Yang Yu's side suddenly fell silent. Yang Yu. Xiaoyu. Dumb, let's bring out some more. This stupid mini dragon really has a headache, he ate all the electromagnetic popping candies given to me. How can he be so embarrassed? It must have been given to it by Kuai Long. After all, the mini dragon is its biological sister, and it is Xiaoyu's poor Harker dragon, ha ha ha. Xiaozhepeng laughed heartily, but he could understand the emotion, especially the mini dragon hasn't evolved yet. Even if it evolves, Kuai Long will still prefer his sister. Just like Xiaoyu's two brothers, they both dote on her. My brother Yang Yu is the same, Yang Xiao added in his heart. Dede doesn't have much stock here, because Big Beauty wants to eat, Little Bayo Bayo wants to eat, Little Dream Demon and Tijipai also want to eat, Little Dream Demon's follower Mimi Kyo, Tijipai's little friend Frost Milk Fairy, everyone has to eat. Also, the salty one was given to the big beautiful girl, as for the croaking frog, he is still too weak. Even if he eats a piece of candy, he will still be shocked by the little electric shock and suspect that the frog is born. Still, there's no problem filling a gift box with inventory. Go home. With these things finally settled, Yang Yu could go back and prepare his next plan to go to Yanjing Elf University. With the obsession in the heart of the mini dragons, Yang Yu had to think of a way to help a bunch of mini dragons. The door to the reversal world is still not opening. If there is news, there will be news that mini dragon's father, Kuai Long of the East China Sea Dragon Palace, will appear. If this continues, Yang Yu also wants to do something. There is nothing we can do in reality, but what about dreams? In the dream, can it help the mini dragon untie its obsessions, that is, through the dream, to communicate with the door to the dream in the reverse world? Yang Yu was lying on the bed to rest while thinking about the possibility of this situation. What you think about day and night, what you dream about every night. Yang Yu didn't know what the mini dragon was thinking in his dream. What if the little dream demon was allowed to help the mini dragon? In the past, the little dream demon was not very powerful, and even had a bad and naughty temperament, so Yang Yu did not consider this aspect. Dreaming is threatening. Now, as the little dream demon continues to grow and its mind gradually begins to mature, Yang Yu has the idea to let the little dream demon enter the dreamland of the mini dragon. Want to collaborate? If the door to reality in the elf world and the door to the reverse world are closed, is it possible to find another way, for example, through the door to the dream world? This question arose in Yang Yu's mind again. Yang Yu closed his eyes. Time, space, dreams, reverse world. In other words, why can't I just go to Darkrai, the god of nightmare, and Cresselia, the god of dreams, in person? Why can't I let them come to me in person? Yang Yu's eyes were as bright as a galaxy in an instant. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huo Xiangxiao. Chapter 766. High school started earlier than college. Originally, Yang Yu wanted to take Yang Xiao to visit the campuses of Yanjing Elf University and Qingjing Elf University, but this plan could only be postponed. It's not too late to go there until the next vacation. Yang Yu can get familiar with the environment around Yanjing Elf University in advance, so that when he picks Xiao up to play, he won't be too road crazy. However, before Yang Xiao started school, Yang Yu took her to visit Grandma Lin and also presented her with a box of electromagnetic popping candies in a gift box. Wang Yuqian is not at home, but in the school's training team conducting special training in preparation for the national competition. Coming to the Meteor Forest again, the Meteor Forest where Lao Huidi lives at this time has become an official secret realm in the Elf Alliance. Ordinary trainers need to apply to the Elf Alliance before entering the secret realm. In order to better protect the Meteor Forest's secret realm, the number of trainers who enter the forest every day will be limited, and generally, the time in the forest shall not exceed 7 days. What Yang Yu and Dede didn't know was that when they came out of Lao Huidi's tree house, Lao Huidi couldn't wait to connect to the video of Gengui and Lao He in the house. The two powerful elves started to play again. A new round of chopstick war started, but this candy is not as easy to pick up with chopsticks as vegetable leaves. In short, this is the simple fun of rhubarb and Lao He. Yang Yu, are you ready to leave for Yanjing? Pearl Forest, the training team of Hangcheng TV University, trains in this forest. Because of Yang Yu's presence, Hangcheng TV University enjoys a lot of elf resources. This is why the principal personally invited Yang Yu to come back for a show. The reason for the speech report. Principal Jin Xiaodong naturally had to try his best to retain Yang Yu, but Yang Yu still cared about the name 403. At the beginning of Yang Yu's journey as a trainer, celebrities Fang Chen, Hong Kong, and Gao Mao gave Yang Yu it was a great help, and being able to meet like-minded roommates made Yang Yu feel that his college career was very worthwhile. At this time, the celebrity Fang Chen and Hong Kong had already shouldered the responsibilities of the two vice-captains of the Hangzhou TV University team. This time, the captain of the school team was Zhang Wenwen, a current senior student and the president of the School Elite Alliance. Hearing Wenren Fang Chen's words, Yang Yu nodded and said with a smile, "Yes, the semester at Yanjing Elf University is about to start. We will have classes there on Mondays and Tuesdays. We may be able to attend classes on Thursdays and Fridays." We met. Yang Yu now has a direct route from Hangzhou to Kyoto, which is equivalent to a flying license. Whether it is Salted Fish King or Little Bao Bao, Yang Yu can summon them and fly at high speed in the air. Great beauty has no restrictions. Even the Elf Alliance very much hopes that Yang Yu will sit on Minus's back every time he flies back and forth. This is a beautiful scenery. Of course, Big Beauty is more convenient in urban areas, but the deterrent power of Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao is still too great. In short, when you are on the way, you can just take the Salted Fish King and Xiao Bao Bao. When you get to Kyoto, you can switch to the Great Beauty. Then we'll see you at the national competition, Hong Kong asked from the side. Zhang Wenwen, the captain of the training team this time, was very envious when she saw that Wenren Fang Chen and Hong Kong could communicate with Yang Yu easily. Even if she looked at Yang Yu from a distance, Zhang Wenwen felt a huge pressure in her heart for no reason. After all, in the last year, many people in the school elite league who have now graduated suffered huge losses at the hands of Yang Yu. That incident left a deep impression on her, not to mention, now that Yang Yu is in the school, but in front of all the teachers and students of the school, the appointment letter of professor of the Elf Combat Department was handed over to the principal. "Yes, I'm back to lead the team. Although I can't play in the national competition in my current capacity, I can still do something like helping you train these past few days." Yang Yu felt that as soon as he finished speaking, there were many gasping sounds in the forest, and some children even had extremely panic on their faces. The little dream demon in Yang Yu's hair has her arms crossed. In the Pearl Forest, this is the real home ground of the little dream demon. The little dream demon's home is here, and there are many ghost friends from the past here. Of course, there are also the parents of the little dream demon, two dream demons. It is not too easy to train these players in the national competition in the Pearl Forest. With the advantage of the home field, the little dream monster is not afraid of any opponents, especially when he can show his growth to his parents, the little dream monster. The dream demon is so impressive. The few freshmen in the training team basically have very little experience in exploring the forest. With the friendly help of the little dream demon these days, at least they have learned a lot about ghost elves. Of course, the impression is even more profound. Fortunately, most ghost-type elves basically like to tease people and play pranks. After getting used to such pranks, some trainers even want to raise one. As for whether they will succeed or not, it all depends on whether they can gain the approval of the ghost elves. "Lao Wen, Kun Kun, I'm leaving first, see you then." Yang Yu waved goodbye. Dudu appeared next to Yang Yu, and Minus appeared. Under the extremely envious eyes of the training team trainers, he left the Pearl Forest. During this time in the Pearl Forest, the mini-dragon was obviously not very interested in eating. At night, when he was watching the little dream demon family reunite happily in the forest, the mini-dragon sneaked to the tree under the veil of night, rolled up a branch with his tail, and drew his family portrait on some snow that had not yet melted, but at the end of the picture, the most important elf was missing. That is, Mother Venus in another world. The mini-dragon dragged its long back and reluctantly left the snowy field. Before leaving, it never forgot to look back for one more look. Look up at the stars in the night sky. Mum. The mini-dragon's eyes were shining brightly, and she gently called to the sky a few times, hoping that she could hear the call of the mini-dragon in another world. However, there was still no response from Meteor Forest. However, the little dream monster and its parents were waiting. When you come to Meteor Forest, you have to face such a thing before your eyes. Some things are difficult to have both ways, but no matter what, try your best. The little incubus's parents, the incubus, wanted to use the illusion to help the mini-dragon, but were stopped by the incubus. Illusions are, after all, just false. Although the little dream demon likes to bully the mini-dragon, and for the mini-dragon, I still have the idea of defeating it, but no matter what, the little dream demon and the mini-dragon are now both opponents and elf partners. Partners help partners, this is what they should do of. However, the little dream demon did not choose to fall asleep immediately. Regarding this matter, Yang Yu and the little dream demon had said that the little dream demon needed to be stronger before he could try it. Venus appearing in the mini-dragon dreamland is connected to another world. With the current strength of the little dream demon, if it transforms into a dream demon in a dream, it will not last too long. In short, the ability to enter the dream must be trained in Yang Yu's dream first. Of course, if Yang Yu, I accidentally had a nightmare, and the little dream demon had to act as a bodyguard to protect Yang Yu first. While steadily improving in strength, the little dream demon also bid farewell to the dream demon parents in the Meteor Forest again, followed Yang Yu, continued to move forward, and came to Kyoto, China. After Yang Yu arrived in Kyoto, someone was already waiting to greet him. Under the guidance of a dedicated pick-up and drop-off staff, Yang Yu met the person in charge of Yanjing Elf University. The first thing to arrange is Yang Yu's accommodation. Considering that there are 2 Gyarados among Yang Yu's elves, one of which has a king-level combat power, Yang Yu's accommodation, although it is on the outskirts of the city, has a large enough pool, which is what Yang Yu needs most. Facilities. Here, Salty Fish King, Dede, Big Beauty, and Little Bayo Bayo can all have a very free space, especially with a huge private pool. I have to say that this treatment is definitely top-notch. To be a professor in the elf combat department, elves need to be absolutely strong, especially in the top elf universities in Yanjing and Xinjiang. Gym-level trainers are only the lowest foundation. Just like Tetsuya Koike, a professor at Tokyo Pokemon University, only if there are at least 4 gym-level elves among the main elves, including the Snow Demon Girl, which is equivalent to 5 gym-level elves, can he teach elf battle at Tokyo Pokemon University. A person who has reached the level of a gym-level trainer still lacks a lot to qualify as a professor. Of course, it is still possible to serve as a teaching assistant to the elf battle professor. You are the youngest professor I have ever seen who teaches the elf battle course. Really, it would be hard to imagine it if you didn't meet a real person. The person in charge here was amazed. Thank you, Yang Yu smiled. Here it is, Professor Yang, you can recruit 2 teaching assistants, that is, teaching assistants who will assist in the elf battle course. Recently, many people want to apply to be your teaching assistant through the school platform. Here is the full list, and inside there are many gym-level trainers from other countries and regions. The person in charge handed the list to Yang Yu's hand. This is also the first time I've seen that there are so many gym-level trainers who want to become Professor Yang's assistant. It's incredible. Yang Yu didn't expect that his first task would be to find a teaching assistant for him. "Can I do without this assistant, coach?" Yang Yu said casually. The person in charge couldn't help coughing, and then continued to persuade, "It will be a lot more convenient to have assistants, and there are several trainers among them that the school highly recommends Professor Yang to choose." After taking the list, there were several names on it, which instantly caught Yang Yu's attention. Long-term meal ticket. Nagasaki nor Miao. It seems that the training family in Sakura country does not have this name, right? The person in charge was confused for a while. For those from other countries and regions, choose her, Lily Ying. For the remaining one spot, just choose the one recommended by the school. This is it, Hu Jing. Hu Jing, what's wrong? Do you have a cold? Why are you shaking all the time? It's nothing, I just felt a little cold suddenly, maybe because I was blown by the wind. The weather in spring is changeable, so be careful of catching a cold. New. At the same time, Sakura country. No, today is a sunny day, but why is it suddenly a little cold? Sister, let's go to the backyard to see the cherry blossoms. Lilykinza stepped on her clogs, and the sound of thump, 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 thump came from the house. Achoo, Lily Sakura couldn't help sneezing. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, AI Ren Huoqiang Xiao. Chapter 767. This house is very big. According to the person in charge, the school also has many residential areas with huge pools like this. In order to attract powerful trainers to join, the school will naturally not treat any trainer badly, let alone Yang Yu has the power of the King of Heaven. In comparison, these material things have become less important. In short, the treatment given to Professor Yang Yu by Yanjing Elf University is definitely top-notch in the country. In such a big place, Yang Yu began to think of the good things about the magic wall doll. If the magic wall doll were here, they would definitely be arranged in an orderly manner. However, the room was very clean. It had obviously been cleaned before, so it felt like being valued. Indeed, very good. Professor Yang, if there are no problems, then we will complete the handover. If there are any problems, just call me directly. If you need me to come over, I will arrive within 15 minutes and sign here. After Yang Yu signed his name, the house was temporarily handed over to Yang Yu. As long as it was not accidentally demolished by Yang Yu during the period of use, there would basically be no problems. Thank you, sorry for the trouble. It's my duty. It's my pleasure to serve you. Now, Yang Yu's elves felt comfortable. This is almost exactly the same as Yang Yu's ideal living environment. There is a huge pool where Salty Fish King, Dede, Big Melee, and Little Bayo Bayo can live without having to be in the elf ball all the time. At the same time, the house must be big enough, so you won't feel crowded. The little dream monster has already taken Mimi Kyo, Tijapai and Frosty Nipple upstairs to play Secret Realm Exploration. It's the first time in this house, so naturally she wants to visit every place. Unfortunately, it was not very convenient for Tijapai and Frostmilk to climb the stairs. The two elves stood on tiptoes and could not climb up. Fortunately, there are many dragons. The mini dragons can easily take Tijapai and Frostmilk to climb upstairs from the railing of the stairs. Together with the croaking frogs, there are a total of 6 elves, which seem to form an action team, go upstairs for exciting exploration activities. The little dream demon did not forget to feed the mini dragon Tang Tang. The small backpack that the little dream demon carried when she took Tijapai was now useful again. It contained small snacks for the mini dragon. Reggie Locke found a socket and started to charge himself. In order to play games in the Meteor Forest these days, he could only convert the electricity in his body that was originally used to fire the electromagnetic gun into the electricity for playing games. It just so happens that there is no need for electromagnetic guns in reality. In the game, you can fire electromagnetic guns at your opponents. More importantly, in reality, you can only fire one shot. In the game, as long as the computer has power, you can fire as many rounds as you want. There is no problem at all. Sense of dissonance. At this time, Yang Yu and Dai Dai sat down together under the pavilion in the yard. Dai Dai took out 2 ceramic teacups, made Yang Yu a cup of tea, and then made a cup for himself. Dai, next we will learn fighting type moves together, and make up for the lack of evil type power. Yeah. Dudu nodded. Learn fighting type moves, and when Dai is proficient, he will use pots and spatulas to hit others on the head, especially those who want to undermine people and elves. During the ground battle at the foot of Mount Fuji, Dai felt that knowing some fighting moves will be very helpful. When it comes to protecting the people and elves they want to protect, no one will dislike having too many moves, but rather too few. When I went to Master Lao Huidi this time, Lao Huidi was very surprised at the progress of Dai's strength improvement. After learning that Dai had obtained the secret guidance between superpowers and nature from the turtle that was thousands of years old, Lao Huidi, this was the first time that the earth was surprised after permanent super evolution. With Lao Huidi's wisdom, he could approximately predict and deduce how much Dai's strength had improved. However, he never expected that after returning from the secret realm of Sky City this time, Dai's strength was already very close to the king level. Before leaving, Lao Huidi specifically told Dai to continue to reduce his reliance on superpowers and increase his control over water attributes. However, after mastering moves such as rain and hail, coupled with his own incredible superpower control, Dai understood water-type moves more quickly and thoroughly. Next, is the continued precipitation and accumulation of strength. Learn fighting moves and strengthen your body so that you can better protect the people and elves you want to protect. The improvement in the strength of elves like Salted Fish King and Xiao Bao Bao is naturally very different from that of Dai. Dai can understand the natural forces around him through meditation and mental power. The Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao seem to have the ability to vent their inner strength only by fighting elves or wreaking havoc. Yang Yu didn't know if he was going to find a part-time job in a demolition company. The place where he lived definitely couldn't be demolished, and Yang Yu would feel bad if it was demolished. It is still a public house. If you find that kind of demolition agency, not only will the demolition be fun, but others will even have to pay Yang Yu to continue the demolition, and ask Yang Yu's Salted Fish King and Xiao Bao Bao to demolish the house more vigorously. But think about it, it can only happen in a dream. Yang Yu definitely couldn't do such a thing. There are dragon-type gyms and fairy-type gyms here in Kyoto. Let's find some time to go and fight them, Yang Yu thought in his mind. When it comes to instructing students in the school, Yang Yu cannot let the Salted Fish King directly use his full strength to instruct. Yang Yu is here to teach the elf battle, not to cause trouble. In short, in addition to normal teaching, Yang Yu also has to give the Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao are looking for some opponents. They can't just stay in the big pool and stare at their 2 big eyes, right? It doesn't matter if you go to the gym to have fun. Kyoto is the same as Magic City. There are 2 gyms in one city, which makes fighting easy. Compared to Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao, Male's strength is easier to improve. Yang Yu no longer needs to worry about physical attacks and melee combat abilities. Male can learn some special attack moves. Needless to say, if you have it in your hand, you will never suffer a loss. You can use it when you want to use it. It doesn't matter if you don't want to use it. However, you can try to add some special moves to the melee combat rhythm to provide better melee combat skills. Attack effect. Yang Yu's dream plan is still in the preparation stage. At the same time, this plan is not something that can be started easily, and it is even very demanding. First of all, on Full Moon Island, Cresselia, the goddess of dreams, is recorded as appearing only during the full moon period. Therefore, after the little dream monster enters the dream, it helps the mini dragon communicate with the dream gate of the reverse world. There is only one night per month. Time. However, the full moon that appears in the real world is likely to be the new moon in the reverse world. What if the nightmare god Dark Clay noticed that the dream connected to the reverse world was attracted to the area where Yang Yu was located, although this was the result that Yang Yu wanted, because Yang Yu also needed to help Little Boomstick find its Gyarados Dragon Megastone, but Yang Yu would not take this risk before Dede mastered the power of wave guides and wave missiles. Then everything is back to square one. I can't wait for school to start. Ryalu, who has mastered the power of wave guide, and Ryalu's owner Cai Swanyi, come to my Professor Yang's bowl. Pokemon's Character Master. Author, Ai Ren Huo Chiang Shao. Chapter 768. Hu Jing received news from the school that she had successfully obtained the position of teaching assistant. When she felt a little confused, she began to panic again. How is this possible? Hu Jing murmured absently in her eyes. The omelette rice she was eating suddenly became tasteless. Jing Jing, what's wrong? Tang Xiaoling, a female classmate on the side, saw Hu Jing looking a little distracted and thought she had received bad news. She thought that Hu Jing seemed to have signed up for Professor Yang Yu's assistant teaching position before. Did she lose the election? He repeatedly comforted, is there any news about the result of the assistant coach? Jing Jing, it doesn't matter if you didn't succeed in the election. There are so many people competing. He didn't choose you because he didn't have the vision. No, how could I be chosen? Hu Jing put her phone on the table, feeling that this world would be so unreal. Jing Jing, don't be sad, wait. Jing Jing, what did you say? You were chosen. Tang Xiaoling's voice stopped suddenly, her whole body was in the most O shape, and she suddenly screamed. In this cafeteria, it instantly attracted many people's surprised eyes. Tang Xiaoling came to Hu Jing's side and stared at Hu Jing's phone with incredible eyes. The message from their counselor immediately shocked her. Congratulations to Hu Jing for obtaining the teaching assistant qualification of Professor Yang Yu. Please go to office 403 on the 4th floor of the Elf Battle Department at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning to wait for arrangements. Tang Xiaoling couldn't help but click on the counselor's avatar. Whether it was updates or notes, they were the same in the class group, which meant, this is not a prank. This is real. How is this possible? This time it was Tang Xiaoling's turn to start mumbling absent-mindedly. It is said that this time, the selection of teaching assistants is not only from people in the school, but also from all over the country and even the world. Many people have provided their resumes, even if they have to travel thousands of miles and work tirelessly, they still want to become Professor Yang Yu. Teaching assistant. There are people from the cherry blossom country, North America, England, Germany, and even the children of Saudi Arabian sheikhs who want to sign up. This is not just a simple teaching assistant. These two places do not occupy the student places in the school curriculum. More importantly, as Yang Yu's teaching assistant, this is a close-up study of Professor Yang Yu's cultivation and training of elves. What a great time! I heard that Professor Yang Yu is still single, right? Whether it is gaining experience in elf training and elf cultivation, especially cultivating and evolving Magikarp into Gyarados, and cultivating and evolving ugly fish into Minas, if I could go one step further and gain someone. How could such a good thing be obtained by Hu Jing? At this moment, Tang Xiaoling's cell phone also started ringing. Unfortunately, her own news was the one to keep up the good work. This was simply heartbreaking. As everyone knows, Tang Xiaoling encouraged Hu Jing to sign up together. When Hu Jing signed up, she said that she could not be selected. There were so many powerful people, How could she be chosen? If she applied, it would be in vain. Later, it was Tang Xiaoling who forced Hu Jing to join her, but after registering, Hu Jing said that she regretted it. Why did she want to apply to become Professor Yang Yu's teaching assistant by some strange combination? What level is Yang Yu? What level is she? There are even many senior students of Hu Jing who want to apply, including some doctoral students. How could it be her turn, Hu Jing? Ah! Woman! Hu Jing's mind is really blank now. She wasn't even prepared. If Tang Xiaoling hadn't forced her to sign up at that time, and her mind suddenly went awry, would Hu Jing have been in this situation? How will you be chosen? When Hu Jing thought of the Chinese Valentine's Day bluebird in her elf ball, her little heart couldn't help but tremble. It was an extremely profound memory. Tang Xiaoling wanted to be quiet. Hu Jing also wanted to be quiet. It's uncomfortable, be quiet. Sakura Country. Lily Ying was in a very good mood after receiving the invitation letter from Yanjing Elf University as a teaching assistant. This should be the first good news in the new year. She feels very, very lucky to be Yang Yajun's assistant. This time, she can finally serve the powerful Yang Yajun personally. Sister, what are you so happy about? Lily Kinzu ran over, followed by the ivy snake. At this time, the color of its body was a little brighter than before, from the original green to an emerald green color. This means that the changes in the ivy snake are growing in a more noble direction. In the future, the final evolved monarch snake will have a brighter emerald green color, which means that the monarch snake will be more powerful. I received an invitation to be an assistant professor at Yanjing Elf University in China. Do you still remember your big brother Han Li? He has now become a professor of the Elf Combat Department of Yanjing Elf University. This time, I am going to be his assistant. Lily Sakura said with a smile. I know. It's the brother Han Li who helped our Sakura country save the flame bird of Mount Fuji. He and Minas, it's too much. Kinsey has never seen Manus before. Where is Nas? Lily Kinsey pouted, angry. Then when Kinsey is on vacation, come to China to play. My sister is there. Then I will take you to see brother Han Li's Minas. Bai Hang sat down on the steps, stretched out her hand and took Kinsey with a smile. Zi helped him to his side. Only in front of Kinsey did she feel like she was living like a person with feelings, not like a cold machine that only saw interests and strength. Okay, that's great. Lily Kinsey jumped up and down excitedly. Thinking of the figure that fearlessly rushed to the top of the secret dome of the Sky City, Lily Sakura sighed deeply, but soon, her eyes became more radiant. I hope that during this period of time as an assistant coach, I can work hard to learn something. Although I can't catch up with him, no matter what, I still have to walk slowly on my path as a trainer. Lily Sakura's eyes narrowed slightly, and she saw a message from the Elf Alliance in her hand. Broken and then established, Yang Yajun is really an amazing person. He is also a warm, humane, and living person. In the message on the screen of Lily Sakura's mobile phone, there were the words Nozawa Naburo. Naburo Nozawa's career as a trainer has begun to rise again. Naburo Nozawa, who was unknown and even deprived of the title of elite trainer by the Elf Alliance, in just 1 year, even severely beat the members of the Sakura Kingdom Elf Alliance. A slap? Gyarados, how did Yang Yajun do it? What kind of mind does he have? Why is there such a perfect person? Lily Ying's eyes gradually became blurred. There has never been such a person for her. There is a deep throbbing in my heart. It's time to pack your things and get ready to go. By the way, prepare a little more money. Yang Yajun likes this. In this big house, each of Yang Yu's elves has their own favorite space. The little dream monster especially likes the wardrobe in the house. Although there are currently no clothes in it, she can play peekaboo. Unlike when she was in a small house, she would be found hiding under the bed. Now, there is plenty of space to play peekaboo. Skill. Of course, while playing with the little dream monster, you will not forget the little follower MaleProtagonist. The rags on MaleProtagonist can be painted with paint, and even some cosmetics that were not used originally have come in handy. There is nothing unhappy about MaleProtagonist, as long as the little dream monster likes it. Just let yourself become the model of the little dream monster. Although MaleProtagonist doesn't have its own aesthetic yet, under the subtle influence of the little dream monster, it will be golden and will be spent. That is a beautiful thing. As for MaleProtagonist, I have to admit that the little dream monster's painting skills are still very good, because in the dream, he is a dream maker, whether it is creating the atmosphere of a nightmare or leading the color of a beautiful dream, the little dream monsters all have their own unique insights. That is, the current MaleProtagonist looks a bit weird. Wearing Death Barbie pink lipstick, and even the blush that she didn't know where to find, when Yang Yu saw MaleProtagonist coming down from upstairs, he almost didn't recognize what this thing was. This was, Little Dream Demon gave. Did MaleProtagonist draw a female costume? The mini dragon looked at MaleProtagonist's appearance, and suddenly felt that the previous MaleProtagonist looked more pleasing to the eye. However, the moment the corners of the mouth with the Death Barbie pink rose up, the mini dragon was greatly frightened. The mini dragon baby is scared to death. Tijupi's Cream Pie has a dressing table of her own. Every day, Cream Pie looks in the mirror and plays with her hair. Sometimes, she looks at the twinkling star candy decorations on the left and right. Frosty Milk Fairy will be in a very, very good mood. At the same time, the happier and more fragrant smell of fresh cream exudes can immediately attract the attention of the mini dragon. Ever since, the good mood in the morning was gone. In the past few days, Gwigwa Bao Bao Frog has gotten up very early every morning, because as soon as it dawned in the yard, he had already started morning exercises. There were no fluctuations in superpowers, only martial arts training driven by his own body, which made Gwigwa Bao Frog also started to get greedy. After all, Gwigwa Bao Frog has always dreamed of defeating Yang Yu. However, in the dream, the croaking frog seemed to be unable to defeat Yang Yu. Because Yang Yu asked the little dream demon to arrange a set of combo punches for Gwigwa Bao Frog in his dream. Even though Gwigwa Bao Frog is a powerful son of the plane in his dream, it's a pity that he still can't beat Guobi. As a result, Gwigwa Bao Frog trained even more diligently. Time flies, Yang Yu has just lived here for 2 or 3 days, and the day for school to start has already arrived. At 8 o'clock this morning, I have to go to the office to meet the teaching assistant. They must be very happy to be selected as my teaching assistant among so many people, right? Well, you're welcome. First day of school. Should I take the Salted Fish King to work, the Da Mali, or the Xiao Bao Bao? Hey, it's so hard to choose, why not just go together? Yang Yu thought about it carefully, and after careful consideration, he decided to sit on the big beauty. After all, we are in Kyoto, so when flying in the air, we should keep a low profile. Although Salted Fish King and Little Bao Bao are fine, they are too ostentatious and scare the children. What should I do? After all, it's your first day at work and you want to leave a good impression. Beautiful, Dadu, let's go to work. Poppy. Go ahead and make a little money. Elf Battle Department, in front of Office 403 on the 4th floor. Spring has arrived early, and the sun is very warm and bright today. It should be a mild morning, but here, it is extremely cold, like ice. Hujing sang. Yuri Sakura. Why are you here? They both said in unison.